Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the Zapruder film, but I'm also going to let you watch the Zapruder film. Plus, I'm going to let you watch it with sound. Now, as everybody knows, when they watch my research or they go over my research and stuff, I go in depth. Okay, and the reason why I go in depth when I do my research is so I get more of an understanding of what people is going through that day and everything else. Plus, as everybody knows that watch my videos or read my books, researchers, when they do the research, they look at the layout of the assassination like this: one car with nobody in the surroundings. But everybody knows that when I do my research, I have to study it this way and I have to look at it this way because that's realistic. Then when I find the gunman, I'll place them in their locations, and we're going back to realistic now. We have the gunmen in their locations and we see the surroundings and stuff. So now we know we can get a lot more details and a lot more information from this now when we view it this way. Now, everybody knows in my research, I found the location of 5 gunmen in 4 different locations. Okay. And they also know that I found 13 shots. But I also want to point out in this video, okay, when we view the films, we view the films. We don't view nothing else. Okay. All we're doing is just watching a silent film. It's like watching an old black and white silent film. We're seeing what's going on, but we can't get that full understanding exactly what's going on because all we're doing is just seeing. We're not hearing nothing. So what I did was, when it comes to my research, is I went ahead and go back into it and said, well, let's follow the eyewitness accounts. Let's place them in their locations, what they heard and everything else. And we're going to hear the sounds. And we know those motorcycle sounds because those motorcycle cop vehicles, those motorcycles, those cops on motorcycles. There's JFK's limo. There's another car, follow-up car, and all these other cars, and those buses there and everything else. Okay, we know we got to put that sounds into it as well. Plus people cheering and screaming, on the sidelines and stuff like that. So when we add all this back into there, we're going to get more of an understanding of exactly what took place that day. Then when we view the films and we have that sound now, we can understand what's actually going on that day. So what we're going to do is, first we're going to view them. We're going to view each video twice. We're going to view the original Zapruder film without sound. Then we're going to add the sound of the crowds and the vehicles and everything else. And then we're going to view the ones with the shots in it. Okay. So first we're going to view this Zapruder film without the sound. As you see here, when we view this film, we're looking at this film, we're going, okay. We see reactions going on, but we really don't have that feeling of exactly what's going on. Remember, as a researcher, we wasn't there. So when we're viewing this film, we're looking at it like, okay, we see JFK shot there and Governor Connally shot, and we can also see the extra shots being fired. And we see people running background stuff. So when we're viewing this, we're not really getting full details of what we're understanding or seeing, because we're going to run it again. Like I said, we can see people running around stuff, but we don't know what's going on. Okay, all we're doing is visualizing something, but we're not actually going on what people says. When you go to eyewitness accounts and you say, well, they said this over here, but they said this over here, and that's why a lot of people don't believe in this person or that person, or they call upon them, because that don't make no sense, because we're just viewing a film, but all it is silent. So what I did was, in my research, is I put that sound back into it. Okay, which now we're going to view, before we start, we're going to view this Zapruder film twice again, but this time just with the sounds of the vehicles and the people and everything else. And the sounds of the vehicles, like I said, and the people and stuff in the surroundings. This is what was going on that day by eyewitness accounts, and we place it back into there by the sounds they heard. Okay, so now we're going to finally see this Zapruder film with sound to it, and we're going to hear what they was hearing that day. Okay, we're going to view it again, and we're just going to hear the people and vehicles and stuff. We're not going to hear the shots yet. We're going to bring that into the next video. I mean, in the next one we're going to view after this. So see, when we hear this, now we have more of a detail on what's going on there that day, because we hear the people and the vehicles and everything else, and the motorcycles and everything else. Now we're going to listen to it. Now we're going to watch this Pruder film again, but this time we're going to hear with the gunshots and all. So see, now we can understand more now once we hear this. And you're going to be, like I said, this is the only place you're going to hear this. You're not going to hear this. No other researchers got this. Nobody else has got this kind of information. No one goes in depth like I do, but you're only going to find it here. Now we're going to view this Pruder film with the sounds of the people, the vehicles and stuff, and the shots being fired. Now let's view that again. So you see, when you view a film like that and you add that sound back into it and stuff, you get more of an understanding. Now we know why when you watch the film and you hear that sound, you can see by the reactions why JFK was reacting the way he was reacting, why Governor Collins was acting the way he was acting, and the people in the surroundings when the shots were being fired, why they're running off this way or that way, why they're ducking, why they're dropping to the ground. See, when you add that sound back into it, you have that feeling, excuse me, you have that feeling exactly what was going on that day. I'm going to post this video here with the sound to it, which goes more in detail, okay, which you can hear a lot more. And if I was you, I would actually view that film over and over and over again, that video, after this video here, because it's only going to be 28 seconds long, but you get that feeling of hearing the crowds, hearing the vehicles, the gunshots. As we view the film just now, with the sound added back into it, now we can understand why some eyewitnesses claim, hey, I heard firecracker sounds. Now we know the firecracker sounds they was hearing was the first 3 shots, and the other shots are being fired because from their location where they're at, it's going to sound like firecracker sounds, because remember, them shots were being fired inside of the buildings and above their heads. Only 2 shots that we're going to hear more clear and more louder is the 2 shots was fired from shelter number 3, which is at ground level, as you see in the film. So when we add all that back in and we add that information back into the film, now we can watch the film and we can hear the people in the film, we can hear the vehicles in the film, and we can hear the shots in the film. Now we can understand a lot more what took place that day when JFK was shot, Governor Collins was shot, when shots was hitting in the surroundings. And we also can hear that there was some shots being fired at the same time, all right, back to back. Okay, this gives us a lot of information. People wonders why I can go in depth into this assassination is because of, as you see here, what I do is I look at it, like I said, I look at it opposite of what everybody else looks at it. They look at the layout this way, I look at the layout this way. Then when I find my location, my gunman, and I find the shots they took and everything else, I put that back in place, and then I go back in place in this right here of where these shots made contact with and stuff, and then we go ahead and go back into the films and stuff and we view it. Not only I put the sound to this Pruder film, but also did the Nix film and other films that shows a part of the assassination. Okay, that's where we can get more in depth, more understanding what took place that day, you know, because now we can not only hear the testimonies that's being told, but now we can hear what they was hearing that day as the eyewitnesses watching this assassination take place. We can actually hear it now for the first time. We can hear what they was hearing that same exact time as it was back then, because when I played this, okay, I had these films made a long time ago when I was doing my research and stuff. It's just I'm starting to bring all my information out now more. And when I played this, when you watch this Zapruder film, the eyewitness that contacted me, when they watched the Zapruder film here with that sound I added back into it, they was like, that's everything. That is exactly what I heard. That's exactly what was going on that day. And it makes more sense now even to me as a researcher, because now I get an understanding of what it was actually like for them people back then. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it one more time from the Zapruder film without sound, then with the sound, then with the gunshots, so you get more in depth and more understanding into it. So first we're going to play this one here. This is without the sound. This is what we're viewing as researchers. This is what we're viewing. Okay, we see some reactions, but we don't know fully what's going on. Okay, but when we add that sound to it, we get a little bit more in depth on what was going on there and everything else. As you see here, we can see it, but we can't hear nothing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hear it with the sound. Now we're going to view the next one. And like I said, when you watch it and you hear the sounds going on, and then you start seeing the reactions of the as the gunshots are being fired, and you see reactions of JFK and Governor Connally and the people in the surroundings. Now we have that in depth, and we have that feeling of exactly what was taking place that day. That's the reason why I did it this way, so I could feel and understand this more as a researcher. So you see, when you watch it that way, now you can say, now you can get back and go, oh my God, I can see it now. Not only I can see it, I can hear it. And then when I'm watching these reactions, I'm hearing these gunshots going on. Yeah, they sound like firecrackers in certain locations, you know, and you can hear the two big bangs of the two shots I hear. That's why when you put this information back into the film and you see what you can see in the films and then you hear it, it makes a lot more sense. You can understand, especially as a researcher, you can understand a lot more. That's like when you do forensics, you put everything back in its place when you're doing forensics. You put it all back in its place and stuff so you can pinpoint where shots came from, who took them shots and everything else, because that's what you do. So like I said, I'm going to post a video of this Zapruder film with the sound into it, the proper sounds and everything, so you can fully understand when you view the film. It's only, like I said, it's 28 seconds long, but when you view it, you can hear the shots being fired. You can see the reactions. You can watch the people and stuff, because now it all lines up. The sound's lining up with what we see in the film and stuff. So now we can get more information from it. Now we can understand a lot more what took place that day. So there's a lot of information we can pull from it now. So don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this video on other social medias, even the other video with Zapruder film with sound to it, with the shots and all, so they can understand, so people can understand. Thank you, and don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, you all have a nice and pleasant day. God bless.